What was that Johnny Depp movie? The Fourth Gate?
The Ninth Gate.
The Ninth Gate.
Edward Scissorhands.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name, Dutch.
My name, Jules.
Super delightful, Dylan.
And welcome to yet another episode of our Ultimate Spirits Competition, our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet and subject it to our crazy hard 100-point scoring system. And in this episode, we're getting to the seventh seal, guys. We got to go through the fourth gate first. This is 4-gate bourbon. And which 4-gate bourbon?
Which trilogy?
The Bluegrass Trilogy number 2.
That's very random.
I know. This comes in at 124.9 proof. Let's get a quick look at the bottle there. Cool looking bottle. I like this design. Nice. The Bluegrass Trilogy number 3. This is batch 15.2, bottle number 538. 62.45% alcohol, 124.9, barrel finished, limited release. This is Kentucky straight bourbon finished in Aspera, sherry, and dark rum casks. Ooh. Look at that. Cool looking bottle.
And rum.
Now, I mean, 4-gate, I think, has a little bit of a cult following. I mean, people really go crazy for this stuff. I've pretty much never seen it in the wild until we scored this bottle. Which we were able to get
completely different state
for MSRP. MSRP is very high.
Yeah.
So we did get it for $199, which is the list price. If you want to buy this stuff, you know, outside of that, like secondary or even like liquor stores that get it, you're going to at least be paying $200-$300, maybe $400, $500. Right. I mean, and then up and up, right? Didn't you look this one up recently?
Yeah, it's $1,499 or something.
Where?
Online.
Yeah, what site?
Does it matter?
Throw them under the bus, man. Come on.
Okay.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, he's playing SimCity. That's what.
Oh, yeah, your sim just died. Oh, no, it's Star Wars Galaxy of
Heroes. That's what it is.
So dumb. I don't know, man. I can't find it anymore.
All right, well, whatever. You saw it listed for a lot.
Or did you?
Now, we did a first reaction to this. We filmed it. Yeah. We were on location in New Orleans, and we had some issues filming there, and it didn't really, the sound was bad, the audio was bad, the video was bad, so we didn't end up releasing it. Maybe we'll put a little clip in. I don't know. Maybe we won't.
I'm glad that we're kind of giving it a second shot.
Yeah, me too, because bottles can change, especially finished whiskey, and this is finished whiskey, no age stated, $200 MSRP whiskey. Remember that, guys. Dylan, you got anything else? I'm going to get us poured.
Yeah, so this is a sourced bourbon. It's a mixture of 6, 9, and 12-year Kentucky bourbon finished. So what that tells me is that, you know...
So the youngest is 6 years.
Well, the bourbon that couldn't stand on its own. And so, you know, it was
blended and finished.
And then they blended it, they finished it to try to, I guess, enhance flavors and things like that.
Yeah, I think we've always been perplexed with the finished bourbon.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think what I don't like is when people say that, oh, this is like, you know, they take like the best bourbon and then they're gonna go and finish it.
Yeah.
Like that's a logical fallacy. No, they're not gonna take things that could stand on its own, like a 12-year that could stand on its own, and then they're gonna go and like, you know what? Let's hide those wonderful flavors by putting it in sherry. Or, you know, like Cabernet or port.
It's like turning a A5 Wagyu into a hamburger.
No, it's not even that. Like doing that and then putting it in like...
It's like putting ketchup on it.
Yeah.
It's like putting ketchup on your A5.
Weird. I don't understand that. I don't know. The logical fallacy is like, you know, rage-inducing. But
I agree.
Anyway,
Are
so
your
this
toes
is
curling again?
So this is my hooves. Yep. This is a 6-year bourbon finished, right? So
6 to 12.
6 to 12, you said.
Just 6-year.
Yeah. All right, well, before we get into it, I want to make sure we talk about what we're going to do for our members of Curiosity Private.
Yes. We're
going to be comparing this to another relatively expensive finished high-proof bourbon that's almost the exact same proof. We actually found a batch of Angel's Envy cask strength that is exactly the same proof almost. This is from 2017. So we're going to be comparing these two for members of Curiosity Private. You can check that out. If you want to join here on YouTube, you can do that. You can go over to Patreon and join as well. We're going to have a taste-off between these two, so you can check that out. If you don't want to see that, if you don't care about that, if you don't want to help us out, that's totally cool. Just keep watching this video. We're going to finish up our review of 48. We're going to get tasting right now. Dylan's already like well into his tasting.
He's done.
He's done. He's already made up his mind before he even smells it. I need to dissociate our first taste of this.
I don't remember the first taste, so this is all new to me.
All right, we've had some time to taste. We've had some time to score. Jules had to take a little extra time, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens.
I think I had a foul glass.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, before we get into our initial scores, Jules here is going to give you guys our scoring criteria in less than 5 seconds.
We do have 100-point grades across 10 categories that include aroma, flavor, body, complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. We do a flavor at 20 points and aesthetics and value at 5 points each, and you can medal in our competition. We score 60 and up, and you go from bronze, silver, gold to diamond.
The elusive diamond. All right, guys, let's reveal our initial scores. Of course, this can change as we discuss it, and I actually have really felt the need to discuss this as I was going through it. I'm a little perplexed with this, and in a good way. In a good way. All right, my initial score, 76.
74.
83.
Okay.
Quite a spread.
We have a pretty big spread, almost a 10-point spread, 9-point spread here. Let's kick this off with Aroma, 8.
I give it an 8.
8.
Really good. Good.
Better.
Surprising. Shocked.
A little bit of too much ethanol
Yes.
for me to get any higher. Good fruit, good molasses, brown sugar going on here.
The reason for me it's not a 9 or a 10 is because the spectrum in which I would get when I'm nosing this at multiple kind of instances, it would shift. I would get a spectrum let's say
I got no fruit.
this much, but then the next one it would shift, but it's still very broad. And even though it shifted, it was very pleasant. I really enjoyed the bouquet. I gotta say, I'm shocked. I thought, I would get overwhelming rum. I thought maybe I would get a lot of that sherry.
Yeah, what's so interesting about this across the board is the finish didn't really come through. I mean,
Which is good.
I think I have a good explanation for what the finish did to this, but it wasn't the focal point.
I felt like it kind of wrapped it in a nice package.
Yeah, well, I'll get to it when we get to flavor, which is next. So let's jump into flavor. I gave it an 18.
16.
I gave it a 17.
I originally had a 17, but let me tell you why I went up. Is because kind of part of this was me understanding what happened and actually going back to it a second sip. Initially, it was spice explosion, borderline too much.
Yeah.
But what I realized is when I came back to it after it sat a little bit longer was that mellowed a little bit. And I feel like what happened here is they had a blend of this whiskey, 6 to 12 year, mostly 6 probably, that was spicy. And they mellowed that spice. They tried to balance it with these finishes. And I think they got pretty close.
I agree.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I give it a 16. But I think
it's
part
better
of
than a
it,
16. I really do.
I think, well, for me though, it mostly stayed in the spice realm. That's why. And the ethanol hit for me was a little too strong, which was impacting a lot of my flavor experience. But and that's why I docked it. So
For me, it's kind of the things that are lacking. It's not what they had, or I didn't have any problems with what they provided. But yeah, I mean, I wish I had more summer fruit. I wish I had the elderflower. I wish I had, and for folks who don't even get that kind of or they don't care about the flower or floral component that you often get in those wonderful private picks for Four Roses. I think the issue I had was the honey component. The honey component, it almost got there. It's almost like you either get maple syrup or you get the maple adjacent kind of corn syrup based version.
Are you maple adjacent?
Yeah, it's maple adjacent, right? So it got close, but you could tell that it's not that.
To me, the reason this was an 18 was everything in the spice and the sweet was really well executed. I thought it was the fruits that were lacking. It was the nuances of the flour, like you were talking about. But I don't know, I kind of gave it that extra point for just the fact that I feel like they had a really spicy blend that they really balanced somehow with this finish without making it too much about the finish.
I think if I hadn't recently tasted private picks of Four Roses, like the OESO, OBSO, and a couple of the other ones, where, I mean, it was just these were incredible picks, right? Yeah. And it had like the breadth and everything I wanted, including the floral and the honey. So
I see where you guys are coming from.
Because of that, I'm like, it doesn't have that component.
All right, well, obviously we're going to have a lot to argue about going forward, so let's keep moving. Body, 7 for me.
7.
I give it a 9. I thought the body was
dude,
good.
it was weak.
I
The
thought the body
viscosity,
was
not
good.
velvety enough.
Agreed.
And what? Explain, like how?
What I think happened for you and me both was the spice kind of killed the body.
Yeah, it overwhelmed it. Yeah.
I could tell that, okay, it's probably coating okay, but the spice is just wiping it out for me.
Yeah.
It's
Completely
like a
agree.
weighted blanket for me. It's very heavy. It's
Heavy?
rich.
No.
I didn't get that.
Rich.
No.
And as soon as it hits the palate, it's syrupy. It's almost to the point where it's like, oh man, it won't leave because it is so thick. It's such a thick body.
I didn't get that.
These guys, they know it to be true, and they're just doing it out of spite. But no, this was good. I would say it's better than most releases, and I gotta say, hats off. Maybe it was because they blended the finishes, and then that kind of added the extra kind of the stickiness, the viscosity. But whatever they did, I thought it was good.
All right, next category, complexity. I kind of have a problem with my score here. I give it an 8.
I give it an 8.
I give it a
waffled on this one though.
And I know where you're coming from because what I wrote down here was, I wrote down my quadrants, which I think about every time I think about complexity, which was spice, fruit, wood, and sweets. And I wrote down a question mark because I'm like,
No, I can check
checks
off
them all
of
off,
them.
doesn't
I can
it?
check it all off.
Yeah.
I can check it all off. And the thing is, the reason why I gave it a very high score was because within those categories, the breadth was pretty good. It was pretty broad.
I'm gonna go up.
I think it's
go to a
not
9.
it's not perfect again because it's missing that floral component.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can't
But that's
really,
like the fifth element. Like that's the thing that I throw in. If you have that, then you can hit a 10, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Which they didn't have it.
Exactly.
And most
so
don't.
it's
Most
close.
don't.
So I gave it.
I agree. Well, you're gonna stick?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. All right, guys. Balance. I initially had an 8. I went down to a 7. Too much spice. Ultimately, is what I wrote down.
You are convincing me because I actually started off at a 7 on this.
I want to taste it again.
And I did go up to an 8 because I thought I was getting better balance between the sweet and the spice. So I mean, I still landed at 8. So
I started at a 7, then went up to a 9, and then ultimately ended up in an 8.
I'm in a strong 7.
I don't know if I'd go up
and
9.
the reason for that is because
I'm in between a 7 and
they
8.
had a lot to juggle, right? They had a lot to juggle. They had not only multi-year.
This is where I realized that it was a spicy root bourbon that they tried to balance with the finish. This is exactly when I realized.
And that's why I gave them an extra score. Because this could have gone horribly wrong.
You're right.
This could be this is just utter terrible chaos. Because not only did they have to use multi-year,
they didn't over-finish it.
Exactly. They didn't over-finish it. And they had 2 different types of finishes, flavors.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not jarring. This doesn't taste synthetic. It doesn't taste like flavored whiskey.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to go up a point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
so-
with 8. You're right. Yeah, I agree with you guys.
I think I got to give them extra points.
Yeah. Fair enough. Finish, 8.
8.
I gave it a 9, but I've been sitting here and I think I got to go down.
It's a little
I would
short.
say,
Short, dude.
yeah, I give it an 8.
It's really
not even
short.
about being short. I think it's pretty
And the
long,
flavor that's
but it's
there,
it's
though.
the chaos of the
it's
flavors.
not there.
I think this is where you know what it is.
No, it's chaotic,
It's
man.
where
On the
where
short.
the finishes and the ears start to reveal itself.
Yeah.
It starts to come out of
Because
high.
you're getting a lot of the sherry, and then all of a sudden you'll get the other.
And that's where the finish comes.
off.
That's where you can tell that here's the spicy bourbon going this way. Here's the finish.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a little too short
But
for
still
me. I don't know
good.
why.
So
It is short.
yeah.
All right, guys. Uniqueness. I waffled on this, but I ended up in an 8.
I give it a 7.
I give it a 9.
I see the 9. I was close to going up, but I don't know. I mean, ultimately, it's like
Aren't we like?
I'm not going to give a
Aren't
bourbon.
we tired of seeing all these finishes?
I'm not going to give
don't
a
get me
bourbon.
wrong.
I'm not going to
They
give a
get it.
bourbon bonus points for being finished anymore.
It's not even
Exactly.
that. It's not that. You know what?
Exactly.
The reason I gave it a 9 and I gave it an extra point is because, again, this could have gone horribly wrong. And I'm going to assume that the 6, 9, and 12-year bourbon that they had to
That's fair.
source were not the best. Actually, I'll just say it was probably horrible.
Right.
And they couldn't sell it on their own.
making lemonade
And they had to give it to
out of
some other
lemons.
company, right? And so there's like, oh, whatever. You take it and try to figure out what you're going to do with
You
it.
give it points for uniqueness.
And
for that?
then they took that, and a lot of companies have tried to come out with things that, try to compensate for that flaw, and they fail. Come on. Really? They do fail.
Yeah,
You know what
have
would
not.
convince me though?
And so
Like
this is
actually,
unique.
I don't know about unique. I'll go up in drinkability though.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll get to that, but I think I'm gonna stick with my 8. I feel
Yeah.
comfortable with 8 in uniqueness. It's a strong 8 for me. I think you're a little too low.
No man, 7.
But overall, I feel.
I mean,
from
I think how they accomplished it is where it stands
from
out.
a pure
And that's why
flavor
from a
perspective, it's
drinkability,
not
yeah.
any higher than an 8 for sure for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on to drinkability. I give it an 8.
8.
I gave it a 9.
I see the 9. I
sit
could
here.
keep sipping on this.
I could
and
sit.
I really do like the flavors.
I mean, it's good, but the finish is left wanting.
I mean,
think that's the problem.
I started at an 8. I started
isn't
at
about
an 8,
finish.
and then I asked myself, I was like, would I go back to this?
Sometimes a short finish makes you want to go back to it quicker. It's just spice hit on the front of the palate. It's just a little too intense.
strong.
A little too intense. I'm close. It's a strong 8. I see it. All right, guys, next category, aesthetics. I give it a 3.
I give it a 4.
I gave it
It's
a
a
4.
BTAC bottle with a sticker.
You know why?
Yeah,
I want
but-
to make an argument. The reason I say it's a 4, because Dutch saw this bottle from like literally a mile
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Not just that, but it's like behind multiple things.
And multiple things.
So
and
not just
it
the
had,
distance.
It had a
And it
ton of
stood
other
out
bottles.
with its labeling,
Right.
everything.
Okay.
It,
Yeah.
it was literally, no, you know what?
Seriously,
I
that
wanna
is
tell that
exactly
yours.
the same scenario.
This
as mine.
bottle-
Before you do, I am going to go up to a 4 because you guys are right. You guys are right.
Yeah, this
Seriously,
bottle
it
was
stood out.
located. Bottle was located in a
Grocery store.
area
Yeah.
that was not designed to hold bottles.
And
it
not,
was like on
not just that,
top
not
of the
designed
shelf.
to like premiere and show off.
It wasn't even on the shelf. It
It's
was
just like stock.
on
Yeah.
top of the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy found it like
Right.
layered.
And I did try to score you guys a bottle. I'm like, hey, do you guys have any more?
Right,
And she
yeah.
was like, nope.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
All right, value. $1.99 is what we paid. We know online the price goes up to $1,000.
Exactly. That's why I
1400.
docked it. In
I
fact,
gave it a
I'm tempted to
1.
give it a 0. I give it a 1 too. But because it's
I
how
gave
much
it a
it's going
1
off, if it's going for
because-
1,400,
Yeah, I gave it a 1
Come
for
on.
retail price and what you get for the
Yeah.
retail price.
Even at $200, this is too much.
yeah,
This should
Yeah,
be
6-year cask.
$80, $90.
6-year cask.
at
Right?
most 100.
$80, $90.
Yeah,
Good
I'm with
whiskey.
you there.
But is it better than Elijah Craig Barrel Proof?
Blended.
Is it better than Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof?
I mean,
Better than
I
Stat-
can.
That's I actually have some Woodford Batch Proof right here.
Yeah, this is. Oh man, and this is cheaper
Yeah. It just
because you start getting the hint of
wood
floral. Yeah.
and the floral. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
And I think they know that. I think they market this stuff
Which
specifically
hats
to
off to them,
connoisseurs.
though, man. I mean, hey,
And if you can pull it off,
that's the market demand.
like it,
Yeah,
go for it, dude.
Yep, go for it.
all right. Wow, this was a
But it's not a bargain.
This was a fun
This was really fun.
Yeah,
a fun one,
only
guys.
they knew.
If only.
Let's get our final tally. My final score for Foregate 79.
75.
82.
All right, which gives us our official Curiosity Public score for Foregate, the Bluegrass Trilogy number 2, very high silver, 78.
Wow.
Good job.
Nice.
Good bourbon, overpriced, good bourbon. I think that's how I would sum it up.
Way overpriced.
All right, Jules, take us out of this episode.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Just thumbs up or thumbs down. Either way, just let us know. Subscribe for more videos. Some curiosity.
It's like a
if you
waiter.
want,
There's going to be a candle in there.
me too, man.
Tea service.
If you want to help us out, please join Curiosity Private. It's our membership program here on YouTube. We are also on Patreon, and we are also selling t-shirts. You can pick any one of these up. And, oh yeah, podcasts and all the major podcast platforms out there. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious. forgot to do it, guys. On 3, name your favorite Johnny Depp movie. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Of course you'd be. That's not a movie.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
TV show.
No, TV show that he was in.
It's a.
You're
He's in the
you
movie,
like
actually.
the movie.
He is
he in the movie?
Yeah, in the end.
Oh, yeah. You're
Wait, what did
right.
you say?
TV show.
No. What
Oh, movie. Edward Scissorhands. Come on, the one that started it all, dude. And how can we all forget already Amber Heard's response of, from the man who convinced the world that he has scissors for hands. Brilliant.
And then I guess you probably have to cut this, but then like take a dump.
Exactly.
I think I'm
Pop
right.
culture, y'all.
Fear and Loathing in Vegas. Come on,
Fear
guys.
and Loathing is
We tried
awesome.
to reenact that.
Fear and Loathing
Jules
is
basically
No,
reenacted
nobody
that.
wanted to reenact
Jules
it. You-
basically reenacted it
Yeah.
at Circus Circus. He had the
Pretty
same
much.
like
A
crash.
complete
Oh, that's
experience.
true. Okay.
Totally true.
The room was spinning for Jules.
I wasn't trying, but you know, it happened.
All right, next time we're doing mescaline. Why did I look at Jules and go, oh my God. Did you see it?
Okay. Cut.
Dude, I don't know
There's
what's
no
going
way
on.
you guys did.
That-
Really? There's
Okay,
no
let's
way
just
this is that high.
let's see. Let's see.
All right, guys, we've had some time to... We're laughing because we saw Jules' score.
We do have a 100-point grade system across 10 categories that include aroma, flavor, body complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. We do a flavor more at 20. And you can medal in our competition if you score 60 and up from bronze, silver, gold to diamond. And by their reaction, it's like, I must be really off.
My initial score.
55.
Okay.
I can tell you why. And maybe it is only what I'm experiencing, but
Get a clean glass.
overall, weren't you guys getting like this metallic taste in
No,
this?
get a clean glass.
Maybe that's why.
This is not.
We need to redo this, dude.
It's metallic, dude.
No, not at all. It's really nice. It's very pleasant.
It's very good.
I don't know. Try it out of a
Let
clean
people
glass.
rip me, dude.
Re-pour. Let it sit for a minute. You want to rescore?
Yeah. It's definitely not, the metallic is gone.
Okay, good.